Have you ever gone to bed completely exhausted, your body heavy and clearly ready to rest, yet the moment your head touches the pillow, your racing mind refuses to slow down, thoughts looping without urgency or reason, while the room stays quiet and still, and sleep feels close but unreachable? Or maybe you fall asleep without much effort, only to wake up in the middle of the night, often during deep silence with no noise at all, your eyes open and your heart strangely alert, as if your brain flipped a hidden switch, creating a hyperactive brain at night, even though nothing around you is happening. Sleep science explains this clearly and calmly. This pattern is not weakness or poor discipline. It is not caused by bad habits or a lack of willpower, and it is not something you consciously choose, but a biological reaction inside the brain, a protective mechanism meant to keep you safe, known as the Neural Sleep Inhibition Response. And to understand why the brain activates this response at night, we first need to look at what happens inside your nervous system when sleep begins. I'm Dr. Sarah, a sleep medicine specialist with a background in psychiatry and sleep health, and for years I've worked with people struggling at night, people who feel exhausted but unable to rest, confused by awakenings they can't explain, and frustrated by a brain that won't fully shut down, especially during the quiet hours of the night. What I see every single day is very consistent. People who believe something is wrong with them, that their body is failing or betraying them, that they are doing sleep wrong, when in reality, their brain is not broken at all. It is responding exactly as it was designed to, trying to protect them the only way it knows how. You feel tired throughout the day, your muscles crave rest and recovery, your eyes feel heavy as night approaches, yet the moment you lie down, something shifts. Your body wants sleep, but your brain remains alert, watchful, and slightly tense. This internal mismatch can feel confusing because nothing dangerous is happening around you. The room is calm and familiar, your bed feels safe and comfortable, yet your nervous system does not fully relax, sending subtle signals of vigilance instead of signals of deep rest. This is where relief begins to matter, because this experience is not a personal failure, it is not a lack of discipline or strength, and it is not caused by negative thinking alone. It is a brain safety response, a biological state designed to keep you alert even when you consciously want to sleep. And once you understand that your brain is acting out of protection, not sabotage, not weakness, not defiance, everything about sleep starts to make more sense, especially why nighttime awakenings feel so automatic, and why forcing sleep rarely works, which leads directly to understanding what happens inside the body when nighttime hormones begin to shift. During the night, your ability to stay asleep depends on balance, not effort, not willpower, and not exhaustion levels, but a delicate coordination inside your body and brain, especially between hormones and the nervous system that quietly shift as the night progresses, guided by your internal clock, also known as your circadian rhythm. One of the key players is melatonin, often called the sleep hormone, which signals the brain that it is safe to rest, that the environment is dark and predictable, and that the body can move into repair mode, supporting deeper stages of sleep where restoration truly happens. At the same time, cortisol must stay low because cortisol is the alert hormone designed to help you wake up and respond, especially in the early morning hours. But when cortisol rises too early, the brain interprets this as a reason to stay vigilant, even if no real threat exists. The nervous system sits in the middle of this balance, constantly deciding between relaxation and alertness, switching between safety and protection modes based on internal and external signals. And when these signals conflict, the brain hesitates to fully commit to sleep, keeping one foot in wakefulness. Studies show that when this balance is disrupted, the brain struggles to fully activate the sleep switch, the internal mechanism that allows deep sleep to continue, especially during the second half of the night, when sleep becomes more sensitive and easier to interrupt, even without noise or movement. So the problem is not that you lose sleep or that your body suddenly forgets how to rest. It is that sleep becomes blocked mid-process as the brain pulls back from deeper stages out of caution rather than failure. And to understand why the brain makes this choice, we need to look at how safety signals influence nighttime awakenings. Most people describe their struggle in very simple terms, saying, "I can't sleep," as if sleep itself has disappeared or as if the body has forgotten how to do it, which naturally creates frustration and self-blame, especially after long nights of broken rest and mornings that never feel refreshing. But experts in sleep health explain something different and far more precise from a biological perspective. The real issue is usually not falling asleep at all, because many people with fragmented sleep do fall asleep, sometimes quickly, sometimes without much effort, at the beginning of the night, before something changes internally. The true challenge begins later, often in the middle of the night or early morning hours, when sleep suddenly becomes lighter and unstable, and awakenings happen without an obvious cause, which reveals that the problem is not sleep initiation, but the brain's ability to stay asleep and remain in deep restorative stages. This shift matters because staying asleep requires trust, not conscious trust, but biological trust, a signal that tells the brain it is safe to remain offline, to stop scanning, to stop monitoring, and to allow the body to fully disengage without the need for vigilance. When the brain does not feel safe enough, even in complete darkness and silence, it quietly interrupts the deep sleep signal, pulling you out of deeper stages, not to harm you, but to protect you, based on internal safety calculations. Understanding this inversion changes everything because it removes blame and confusion and replaces them with a clear biological explanation, one that points directly to why the brain becomes cautious at night and how this caution is connected to protective mechanisms, which leads us to the specific response the brain uses to stay alert during sleep. This specific state has a clear name in sleep science, and giving it a name helps remove confusion and fear because it shows that this pattern is recognized, studied, and understood within sleep research, and not something rare or mysterious, but a known biological response of the brain called the Neural Sleep Inhibition Response. In this state, the brain does not fully stand down at night, even though the body is lying still and resting. Instead, it maintains a subtle level of vigilance, constantly checking for safety, scanning for internal or external signals that might suggest danger or unpredictability, even when no conscious threat is present. This ongoing alertness affects how sleep unfolds because deep, restorative sleep requires surrender, a complete handoff from monitoring to restoration. But when vigilance stays active, the brain limits how deeply sleep can go, keeping you closer to the surface of sleep, where awakenings are easier and more frequent. For some people, this response shows up very clearly as waking around the same time each night, often around 3 a.m. or the early morning hours when sleep is naturally lighter and hormonal shifts are more sensitive, making the brain more reactive to even subtle internal changes. For others, the same mechanism looks different, appearing as light sleep, frequent awakenings, or the feeling of sleeping without ever fully resting, despite spending enough hours in bed, because the depth of sleep is being restricted, not by habit or mindset, but by this protective brain response. So while the symptoms may vary from person to person, the underlying process remains the same. One shared mechanism driving different experiences, rooted in the brain's safety system. And to understand why the brain activates this response, we need to explore how it interprets danger at night and how silence itself can sometimes trigger alertness. Imagine your brain as a night security system designed to protect you while you are vulnerable, especially during sleep when awareness is reduced, constantly deciding whether it is safe to stand down or whether it needs to remain partially active based on signals it receives from the body, the environment, and internal chemistry. When this system senses safety, the alarms gradually power down, the nervous system shifts into relaxation mode, muscles soften, and breathing slows. Melatonin is allowed to do its job, and sleep begins to flow naturally, without effort or resistance. In this safe state, the brain trusts the night, allowing deeper sleep stages to unfold, supporting memory consolidation and physical repair, while cortisol remains low and quiet, and the circadian rhythm stays aligned, guiding the body through predictable sleep cycles without unnecessary interruptions. But when the system senses danger, even without a real or visible threat, the alarms do not fully shut off. They remain faintly active in the background, keeping the brain partially awake, alert to potential change, ready to respond if needed. This does not require noise, stress, or fear. Sometimes the signal comes from inside the body, a subtle hormone shift or nervous system tension that the brain interprets as uncertainty, and in response, it limits deep sleep, preventing full disengagement, even in complete silence. This ongoing alarm state is not a malfunction. It is the Neural Sleep Inhibition Response in action, a protective setting meant to keep you safe, but when it stays on too long, it disrupts natural sleep patterns, which raises the question of why the brain misreads safety at night and how this misinterpretation can be gently corrected. When this protective state continues night after night, the effects often build quietly and gradually without dramatic warning signs, but with a steady erosion of true rest as sleep becomes increasingly fragmented, broken into shorter, lighter segments that never allow full recovery. One of the first changes people notice is a constant sense of mental fatigue, even after spending enough time in bed, as if the brain never fully powered down, leaving thoughts slower and focus harder during the day, despite trying to function normally. Mornings begin to feel heavier over time, not because you slept too little, but because sleep lacked depth, making it harder to wake up refreshed, with energy that lasts beyond the first hours, creating a sense of dragging fatigue that follows you throughout the day. Alongside this exhaustion, quiet anxiety can appear, not intense or overwhelming, but subtle and persistent, a low-level tension in the background because the nervous system never fully relaxes, remaining slightly alert even during rest, as if waiting for something to happen. Perhaps the most frustrating effect is the feeling of never truly resting, of sleeping but not being restored, night after night without relief, which can lead to self-doubt and confusion, especially when nothing seems obviously wrong and others assume sleep should be simple. It's important to understand this clearly. These consequences are not a sign of weakness or failure or poor coping. They happen because the brain remains in protection mode, doing what it believes is necessary for safety. And once we see this pattern, we can begin to explore how to help the brain stand down at night. Here's the good news, and it's grounded in how the brain actually works. This state of nighttime alertness is not permanent, it is not a life sentence, and it does not mean your sleep system is broken. It simply means the brain has learned a pattern, and learned patterns can change. The brain is highly adaptable, especially when it comes to sleep and safety, because survival depends on flexibility, not rigidity, which means the brain can relearn over time that the night is safe again. This relearning does not happen through force or by demanding sleep or by trying to overpower the mind, because pressure often increases vigilance and reinforces the protective response, making sleep even lighter rather than deeper. It also does not rely solely on pills, which can sedate the body, but do not always convince the brain it is safe, sometimes masking the problem instead of resolving it, while leaving the nervous system alert underneath, still scanning, still cautious. What the brain truly responds to are the right biological signals, signals that calm the nervous system, support natural melatonin release, and prevent unnecessary cortisol spikes, especially during the most sensitive hours of the night, when sleep stability is most fragile. Once these signals begin to return, the brain can gradually lower its defenses, allowing deeper sleep to reemerge naturally. And understanding which signals matter most is the key to moving forward, which brings us to how sleep science supports this process without forcing the body or mind. Sleep science shows that recovery does not come from forcing sleep, but from supporting the brain in very specific ways, ways that align with how the nervous system naturally operates, especially during the night when sleep is most sensitive and the balance between rest and alertness is fragile, requiring cooperation rather than control between the body and the brain. One of the first priorities is calming the nervous system, because a regulated nervous system signals safety, allowing the brain to reduce nighttime vigilance, lowering unnecessary alert responses, and shifting from protection mode into rest mode, which creates the foundation for deeper and more stable sleep. Another essential factor is stabilizing melatonin release, so the brain receives a consistent signal that darkness equals safety and restoration, helping maintain sleep continuity rather than fragmented cycles, especially during the early morning hours when melatonin naturally begins to decline. Preventing early cortisol spikes also matters greatly, because cortisol is designed to rise toward morning, not in the middle of the night. And when it rises too soon, the brain interprets this as a cue to wake up, interrupting the deep sleep signal, even if the body still needs rest. Reinforcing the circadian rhythm ties everything together by keeping the internal clock predictable and stable, so the brain knows what to expect, reducing uncertainty at night and supporting smoother transitions between sleep stages, allowing deeper sleep to return gradually without shock or force. When these conditions are supported consistently, the brain is able to do the healing on its own, because it already knows how to sleep. It simply needs the right environment and signals, and understanding how to provide that support naturally leads directly into the final piece of this approach, where gentle, targeted support can make the difference. That's why many people are now choosing a natural, doctor-approved sleep support, created to work with the brain's biology instead of trying to overpower it or shut it down artificially at night, by respecting how the nervous system actually functions during the most sensitive sleep hours. This type of support is not designed to force sleep, because forced sleep does not equal restorative sleep, and it does not convince the brain that it is safe. Instead, it gently supports the brain's safety response, helping reduce nighttime vigilance so the brain can lower its guard naturally and allow deeper sleep to emerge. By supporting melatonin balance and nervous system calm, this approach works in harmony with circadian rhythm rather than disrupting it, avoiding sudden spikes in alertness hormones and helping maintain the deep sleep signal, especially during the second half of the night when awakenings are most common. What makes this different is the intention behind it, not sedation, not suppression, but cooperation with the brain's own intelligence, acknowledging that the brain already knows how to sleep. It simply needs the right conditions and the right internal signals to feel safe enough to stay asleep. If you'd like to learn more about this kind of support, you can find additional details, including how it's used and what it supports, in the first pinned comment, where everything is explained clearly and calmly, without pressure or exaggerated claims, so you can explore it at your own pace. No promises are made here, no miracles are suggested, only sleep science applied with respect for your body, your brain, and your natural rhythms. Because real improvement begins with understanding, and understanding opens the door to what may finally help your brain release its nighttime guard.